this is it. This sums it up.
Cool. Extremely clear and concise. I'd like to thank you again for coming on, Pawel. Let's have some audience members up here to ask some questions. First up, we have Snow, I believe. Snow, go ahead and unmute yourself and ask your question.
Yeah, as you said that your AI legal assistant will be initially available for EU countries, but as you know, regulation have changed time to time. So, is your AI legal assistant bot will be up to date accordingly?
I think I lost your last sentence, but either way, I think that I know what you had in mind. So yes, so obviously the general strategy and the general tactic for the distribution of the AA legal assistant is that it's going to be gradual. So it's going to be jurisdiction by jurisdiction. As we all know, or most of us know, for example, European Union is fairly standardized in terms of law, fairly. Not entirely fairly standardized. So each country is have their own judicial system, jurisdiction. They have their own legal systems, but they are following some higher standards in terms of the EU. So each AA system implementation has to follow specific rules of a given jurisdiction. The question about the updates to that are valid, meaning that, of course, the laws in a given country change over time, and the AA legal assistant, whenever it's implemented in a given jurisdiction, it has to follow the newest guidelines. So the way we sort of go around this is actually in two ways. First of all, this is how we're doing it in the first country that we're doing the pilot implementation in. First of all, we're working closely with local authorities, right? So we basically have this close connection that allows us to get an insight into law changes. The other thing is that every time, whenever the AA legal assistant is being implemented in a given country, it is supported by a network of local law firms. The main goal of the AA legal assistant nowadays is that it is sort of a bridge between the current legal systems, the current legal services market, law firms, lawyers, etc., and the future legal services systems, which will be based mostly on the automation through AI. And we are the bridge. Basically, we know that we will not be able to offer AA legal services as a separate thing, as a competition, direct competition to traditional law firms, because this is not how the legal systems work. We're going to be able to provide the first layer of automation that will require still a confirmation and authorization from lawyers in a given jurisdiction. That's why VAIOT, whenever attempting an implementation in a given jurisdiction, first builds a network of law firms. Afterwards, it brings up the application, and the application, as a second layer, has local law firms to verify the work of the AI. So that kind of kills off also the arguments on, how you're gonna verify that the AI actually makes a good job, or how can I be sure that the contract prepared by the AI is valid, is good, is according to the best practices. So it's not only due to the fact that the legal database of the AI legal assistant from which it learns, it's built on the work of top lawyers in a given country, but it's also that those lawyers then certificate the work of the AI for each user separately. So that's sort of how we're going after the being up to date in terms of the legal frameworks and the law in given jurisdictions. And this is also how we maintain the quality and accuracy of the work of the AI in terms of the legal services.
Cool. So let's move on to the next audience member. We have Astro here. Astro, go ahead.
Yeah, so how does your intelligent contracts work in terms of ease of use for users? And is there any sort of KYC requirement in order to use your platform?
Yes. So the whole aim of the AI legal assistant was to make blockchain usable, right? So make smart contracts usable for people who do not possess programming skills. So the fact that there is the AI assistant in the mix basically means that you're not doing anything in regards to the contracts, to the blockchain contracts. That's why they are called intelligent, because you as a regular user, you don't have to do anything. You just talk to the assistant. You just basically specify what you want in terms of contract analysis or basically what you want in a contract. And it's not, you don't have to have the legal knowledge as well, of course. By specifying, I mean, you basically have to say, okay, I want this guy to paint the walls in my apartment. I want to pay him that much. I want him to fill those KPIs, those performance indicators. I want for example, the fees in terms of something goes bad, the penalties to be in that value, etc. And that's that information, those inputs are being used for the contract drafting. And the same thing in the background, the AI assistant is basically creating the blockchain part of the contract, right? So you're not seeing it, you don't see it, you get the result, right? So at the end you get the contractual data on the blockchain, you get the contract being recorded on the blockchain. And we also have operational right now a separate application, which is a sub application, I would say, to the AI legal assistant, which is called Contract Reader, which basically allows you as a non-programmer to read, to actually verify that this contractual data was recorded on the blockchain. You can just put in the contract address, and you're basically getting the smart contract is being decoded to let's say normal words, not code. So this is how we're going after the readability, the transparency for people who do not possess the programming skills, I would say. I don't know if there was a second part of the question.
No, I think that's good. And unfortunately, Pal, we've run out of time. I'd just like to thank you again for joining us, and let the listeners here know that everything said today was informational only and not financial advice. Pavel, I'd like to give you the last chance as well to share anything you'd like to say before we wrap up.
Right. Thank you very much. Thank you also for joining. Huge thanks to KuCoin team for putting together the campaign for this week. Guys, take a look at the trading campaign. We are also excited to invite you into our community channels, into our Twitter account, into our YouTube. We're sharing a lot of interesting stuff. If you're interested in the product, we're sharing a lot of product information, product development updates, product development news, insights into the application, etc., etc. We'll also be sharing beta testing campaign information at some point in time. So just take a look. If you're interested in the product, if you're interested in the project, just stay with us. And yeah, that's the invitation. Thank you very much again.
Awesome. Thank you so much again, Pal, for joining us today, and wish you best of luck and hope to have you on here again in the very near future. Bye-bye, guys.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.